Hello there, I'm Angus Fraser, Managing Director of Cricket at Middlesex County Cricket Club, and I'm currently at the Middlesex Academy up in Finchley. Whilst I'm here, we're going to speak to Graeme West, who's the Academy Director, about his role in developing Middlesex's next generation of cricketers, and also the Academy intake of 2010, to speak to them to find out what their aspirations are, what they've learnt at the Academy, and what they're hoping to do this coming season. Hope you enjoy it. Good evening, it's 7:30 on a Thursday evening at the Middlesex Academy in Finchley, and joining me is Graeme West, Middlesex's Academy Director. Graeme, describe a typical Thursday evening training session, well, Tuesday because that's the other night.
Sure.
Typical training session here.
Most Tuesdays and Thursdays we do a combination really of practical skills with the boys, so net sessions, drill sessions, scenario sessions, allied to the range of support that we get from ECB with their lifestyle team, Richard Thirlwell, psychologist, and of course our resident strength and conditioning coach Luke Woodhouse, who puts the boys through their paces.
And so what other aspects are you trying to cover whilst you're at the Academy? Obviously the cricketing skills, and the development, I suppose the combination of schoolwork and a potential cricket career, but what other aspects?
No, it's a balancing act. I think one of the key things now is to prepare players not just technically, tactically for traditional cricket, but this winter we've probably spent a lot more time one-day cricket, one-day scenarios, 20-20, and that's batters and bowlers, trying to introduce new shots with the batters, and where Richard Johnson worked with the bowlers, looking at their slow balls, variation deliveries. But of course, for all the boys, it's a real challenge that they come straight from school, they go home, possibly homework to do, revision to do. So it's very much trying to find a balance between cricket and their studies.
And we've been, as a county, trying to get some specialist coaches up here to sort of help you with the development. I know Arish Shah has spent a couple of evenings here, Mark O'Neill, Middlesex's batting coach, obviously Richard Johnson and Richard Scott from the first team. What's it like having those fellas around?
I think it's been a great experience for the players this winter. Oasis was the first coach that we introduced, and Oasis talked about his experience as a young cricketer, and then sort of coaching support that he's had all the way through. And it was quite refreshing that he came in and challenged the players to try new things, but at the same time recognise what they do well, what their strengths are. So that was really good before Christmas. Since then we've had Richard Scott, Richard Johnson very much involved on a regular basis, and more recently Zach Lane with the spinners, which was really, really good, not just for the bowlers but also the batters in terms of how they approach playing spin and mystery spin. And recently Mark O'Neill, who's just joined the club, came in and worked with 4 or 5 of the batters last week, which they found very good, and I think he was quite impressed with what he saw.
You've been Academy Director now for
Second into third year.
Third year. What is it that gives you the most satisfaction in the job?
I think very much seeing the players develop competitively in the summer. We've had players come through the club now. It's good to see them play second team cricket, start to establish themselves in the second team. And obviously, ultimately, it's about playing for the first team, playing at Lords. Steve Finn, Billy Goldman, the two that stood out in the last couple of years. And with Steve now having made his England debut, it's, you know, when you think where he started off at 14, 15 in the academy, it just shows it's great for all the other players to see coming through that that's where you can get to with hard work and dedication.
I say Stephen's development seems to sort of create a real buzz about the place, especially talking to the academy lads. It must sort of provide you with a huge amount of satisfaction to think that he's come through the system, and also with a real way of motivating the lads that sort of that pathway can be completed.
Yeah, I mean it's quite hard in some ways to say to the players, you know, that they weren't here when Steve was on the academy, but if they'd seen the way that he worked and the way that he went about things, was always prepared to listen, worked very hard, and has continued to challenge himself over the more recent years. To get that message across to the players, they could all learn from the way that Steve approached his game. He had the raw materials, which is what all the guys here have got, but it's about developing all other areas of the game, and that's what he's been able to do.
I say the desire to tap up or get the best players at an individual academy is obviously never been higher, because for counties it's the cheapest and I say most fulfilling way of supplying your side with first-class cricketers. Whereabouts do you look for the young cricketers that are going to come through and be on the academy?
Yeah, I mean, we start off very much with our age group cricket from under 10s. By the time they get into 13, 14, you're starting to see players stand out, and we develop our players in-house, but we also look outside of the county, certainly some of the minor counties. We've built some good links over the years, and in fact Steve originally was from Hertfordshire, Steve Finn, so Hertfordshire, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire have all provided some good young talent for us. Currently on the academy we have James Kettleborough from Bedford, we have Andy Laws from Cambridgeshire, Charlie Randall from Hertfordshire, so we've sort of topped up our own players within our system with the best from outside the system.
And how many players have you got on the academy this year?
9 players this year, of 7 of whom are in their last year of school. So they're all pushing to follow in the footsteps of Tom Hampton, Rafi, Stuart Pointer and Josh Davey with the scholarship scheme that we introduced in the last couple of years.
What do you look out for in a young cricketer? What is it that sort of catches your eye?
I think nowadays the ability to be able to offer something with the bat, with the ball and in the field is becoming more and more important. We certainly look for players that are prepared to challenge themselves, to continually work at their game, to listen. And I guess then when it comes to competitive cricket, the players that step up under pressure can make the right decisions and produce the match-winning performances.
So it's the likes of Stephen Finn have come through, Adam London, Dan Hausco, they played first 11 cricket last year. Which young players should we be looking out for in the next couple of years?
Well, I think with the 3 scholarship boys, Ravi, Stuart and Tom Hampton, hopefully we'll see them develop in the second team this year under the guidance of Richard Johnson. I think behind them, the players that have performed over the last couple of years in youth cricket would be Roy van der Spa, Adam Rossington, both with the bat, and James Kettleborough. They've all scored big scores. And behind them, Ajay Singh as an off spinner that can turn a game with the bat as well. And we've got a really good batch of seam bowlers in Gurjit, Jamie and Charlie. We've got 3 left armers, which is quite unusual. They're all slightly different, but all have the potential to move forward.
So you're quite optimistic about the next batch of Middlesex players coming through?
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Pleased to hear it.